When did Werribee become a thing? It's debatable, but the discovery of gold in 1851 led to Melbourne becoming the richest city in the world at the time. The population boomed, and so too did unsanitary waste disposal methods. Chamber pots were emptied into the street and ran into waterways, turning them into open sewers. And you wonder why the Yarra's the colour that it is. To solve the problem, Werribee was chosen to house a sewage farm. Dr Monica Schott wrote a book about Cocoroc Township, and she's showing me around this former thriving community.
Monica, you're walking me to a bare open field. Where are we going? What are we doing?
This whole paddock was covered in houses. This was the top end township, yep. In here there was a school, a church. Between the two trees was the old community hall.
So it's quite built out as opposed to what it is now.
Yes.
Was there stigmatism around that to the outside community, to people who didn't understand, they didn't know? And if there was, how did the locals deal with that?
So the community began in 1893. That's when the first homes were built here for the workers and their families. This place, the Metropolitan Sewerage Farm, was quite removed from Werribee, let alone from Melbourne. But right from the early days, I think that I have an article from 1889 where a journalist in The Age wrote about this place as this evil-smelling precinct.
Who would have thought of someone from the media not being accurate?
Well, it continues. The stigmatism started right from the very beginning.
But how did that affect the people who were living here, who had to deal with it every single day? You know, they go to the outside community. I've read stories of the football team going to another suburb and playing there and just being absolutely abused over the fence because they came from this place that used to stink.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that must have had an impact on them.
Every time I've spoken to them, they would say that they had the last laugh because this was their utopia. This was, you know, their oasis where they were free to do what they wanted. They had food and water, you know, during the times of the Great Depressions, economic downturns, when people were losing their jobs, they had no money, no food. There was an abundance of food here. And
a bit ironic when everyone is trying to get back to that lifestyle now that used to exist here, and you know, a lot of people just used you for having it.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this big structure here. I'm assuming this is the water tower. It seems to have kept in pretty good condition over there.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and it is listed in the Heritage Register. It was built in 1854 to supply water to Melbourne. So this was Melbourne's first water supply. And so it provided water to Melbourne for 3 years, and then Melbourne's water system was connected to Yan Yean, so it stopped.
Right.
Yeah.
How much water did that take?
There's a plaque around the corner.
Okay.
Should we go and have a look?
Let's go and have a look. So, Monica, I can see there that was 682,000, maths is not my strong suit, I'm creative, litres of water in this structure. So there we go, we have an answer on that. But what is inside it now? Or what was even inside it back in the day?
Well, when it was working as a water tank, there are huge pumps in there, and the structures are really quite beautiful. They've been cleaned up and it looks really stunning. Then when it wasn't used for so many years, it became a storage kind of centre. And once everyone left, you know, I think the community began to disband in the 1970s. And so then they began to clean out underneath. And now we haven't got a key to get in, but inside here is this beautiful clean space that they've turned into an exhibition space.
This could be hired out by an artist or a community group or whatever it is. Yeah, right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, I know that there is a swimming pool on site. It's 35 degrees. I hope there is water in it. Can we go and see it? Monica, that is the pool, is it?
It is the old pool.
That is not what I was expecting, nor what I was wanting on such a hot day.
No, that's right. So this pool was built in 1942 during World War II. And the really cool thing about this pool is that residents went to management and said, you know, the war restrictions mean we can't go for a swim, it's hot, we can't go to the foreshore, we can't go to the river. And we know that a pool is going to be built as part of this model township concept. We'll volunteer our labour to build it if you can supply the materials. And management said, no, we'll build it. And so they built it quite quickly. It was the first pool here. It was here way before Werribee's pool was built. And a lot of Werribee people came in here to swim. Even the Werribee Primary School brought their kids in here to learn how to swim.
Yep.
So that was cool.
Right.
But this first part was the wading pool, and then the second part was the deeper end where the older kids and adults would swim. And it was just a couple of years ago, really, when it was filled in. It had been empty for so long, and it was filled in to be turned into this rain garden.
Rain garden. Very dry to me. I mean,
Yeah.
sure, it's not raining, so maybe it full bloom then, but you've obviously got your book about this place here, but you live in Werribee as well, and you have for 40 years. So what would you like to say to those people who still think that, from the suburbs probably on the other side, who haven't been here, they don't understand, they don't get Werribee? What's that message that you would like to communicate to them around that image of Werribee that they probably think but is also incorrect?
I don't know that I want to tell them much, really, because...
It's a secret and you want to keep it to your own,
Right.
to yourself.
Exactly.
Monica, there's something interesting going on at the top of those goalposts. What is it? What are they?
So the goalposts are hollow, and at the top there are vents. And the idea was that the goalposts acted as vents for any odour that would be underground that would leak in from the
Is that right?
land and grass filtration paddocks.
Right, so it's a home ground advantage.
It was.
Yeah.
Yes.
I imagine the local team would have known to kick straight as well.
Or to hit it to
True.
move the odour.
Right. How fascinating is that? Talk to me about the local sporting clubs that were out here, because they were quite good, weren't they?
They were. So from the from the early 1900s, there was a men's football team. There was also croquet being played, and tennis and cricket. And the Metropolitan Sewerage Farm had their own teams. And so the men's football team was quite successful, won various premierships over the years. That's the original sports pavilion where they change, and the toilet is still out the back there. They folded in 1965 with two other local teams, and it became the Werribee Football Club.
So you've been a local for 40 years. You would have seen the area grow a lot in that time. I reckon this is a bit of a reference point, isn't it? It's kind of just creeping in, getting a bit tighter, getting a bit scarier. Is population a concern for you as a local? Is it spiralling out of control?
It's a concern. I don't know that it's spiralling out of control, but it is a concern because, countless thousands of people have to drive to work. And a 30-minute trip can take an hour and a half one way. So that becomes quite frustrating.
But it's not to a degree where you're considering moving, you want something quieter, you're okay with it, but you just acknowledge that something's got to give.
Where I live is quiet. It's the old part of Werribee, so it is quiet. I don't know that I would like to live anywhere else around Werribee. It becomes too busy, especially when you have to get through bottlenecks.